Welcome back everyone to our playthrough of the career mode here in NASCAR Heat 2. So we're 11 races into our first Cup season out of 36 races. We have 3 wins and we are ready for Charlotte coming up next. And there's nearly no two ways about it. I do not enjoy racing at Charlotte in this game. And the reason is not because I have anything against the track itself. It's a 1.5 mile track. And it can be a lot of fun to drive, but it's not as fun to race at simply because of how narrow the track races. I don't know exactly how wide the racing surface is, but when you're out there, it is sometimes a little bit hairy to run even 2 wide, much less trying to do 3 wide. And then plus, on top of that, you got turns 3 and 4 that can be really tricky, which in some ways can add some fun to it, adds some character to the track, and makes it a little different to race at. But then in other ways, it can be really tricky to race around the AI, particularly in corners like that, with it being very narrow. So a lot of tense moments can be had here at Charlotte. But before we get to the racetrack, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of things. First, let's take a quick look at the standings. Now, this is the point standings. We don't really care a whole lot about the point standings. What we really care about is the playoff standings. And in that case, we lead because we have 3 wins, which gives us 15 playoff points. So we're in #1 position there. And then you notice of the playoff drivers so far that have wins, there are 6 total drivers with wins. So a lot of multiple winners so far this season, and that's going to make it very difficult to find wins later on in the season. And who knows, we might actually get a chance to have some drivers make it in on points without any victories. Then if we take a quick look at our schedule, the last few races, Kansas, Talladega, and Richmond, you can see some good finishes. Top 5s and top 10s for the most part there, and with Kansas coming in just outside the top 10. But then we have some very different types of tracks coming up. We start out with a 1.5 mile track at Charlotte. Then we go to Dover, which is a beast all its own. Then to Pocono, which is 3 instead of 4 corners. And then finally, we go to Michigan. So 4 very different tracks in the lineup for us coming up next. And now, I think it's time to head to the racetrack. All right, before we get the race itself started, let's take a quick look at the setup. And for the most part, everything is traditionally what you've been seeing me use, except for one change here on the spring settings. In the rear springs, I chose to go with 100 pounds of rear spring split just to sort of give myself a little bit of a break and let the car turn a little bit more that way. And then to sort of offset that a little bit in the miscellaneous settings, I have reduced the track bar on both the left and the right hand side. Aside from that, everything is basically identical to what you see me normally use. Let's get this race started. All right, here we go. Green flag here at Charlotte. And so we got 52 laps to get from the back to at least as far forward as we can. And I'm going to try to be extremely patient. This track, as I mentioned in the opening, races it very, very narrow. So I'm going to try to be very careful, give these guys as much room as I can. And hoping that they will return that favor. Ouch! Okay, maybe not, as somebody tried to wreck us already. All right, so we'll start fresh. Try to work our way back up through. Luckily, it didn't turn into a disaster. We were able to keep things pointed in the right direction. And I will definitely not be looking to use the high side, at least not until things get really strung out. Once things get more single file and there's a lot of room in between cars and stuff, then yeah, I'll consider using the high side then. But for now, I hate it when these guys block all the way down to the white line. Running this track more like Indy cars than stock cars whenever they do stuff like that. Besides, we're only on lap 3, so... So we're up to 33rd, and we have plenty of speed to pass these guys that we're racing around right now. but that's not really the point so far. Ooh, watch out. And I'm exactly where I did not want to be. So we'll try to get by these guys as quickly as we can so I can get back to the bottom. Alright, there we go. Use the brakes, particularly going into turn 3 here. Try to give these guys plenty of room. That corner could be difficult enough all on its own without having any other cars around. Ouch! Alright, 34 car, let's go. Move out of the way. Alright, so we just went down the entire back straightaway, basically at half throttle, sometimes less. Alright, if he's going to block the bottom like that, then I basically have two choices. I can either move him out of the way, or I could try to go around him to the high side. We'll try the high side. Alright, so we're up to 27th in 7 laps, so patience so far is working out. A few close calls though. Alright, so you can see we got plenty of speed, but once again, these guys are running a horrendous line down the straightaway. Oh, good gracious. I was really wanting to stick it in there right because I know the 3 car is one of those that's been hugging the bottom like this. Now whoever's in front of him is doing the same thing. And I'll admit freely that that right there gets on my nerves more than most things in this game. So that's one of those things. At some point, I will stop giving them room and just move them out of the way if they continue to drive like that. Now, if it's last lap, then I got no problem with it. Or, you know, 5 to go or something like that, but not 40 to go. All right, so we've made it up through basically half the field. Things are strung out a lot more, so now I feel a little bit more comfortable about using the high side now. Alright, drive it really deep, let it slide up the track. And then see how that feels versus driving it in easier, trying to hug the bottom a little bit better. A lot of different ways to get through there that are available to you, particularly whenever you don't have any cars around you. Alright, so we're up into 19th, finishing up lap number 12 of 52, and things are going pretty great. Again, we've had some close calls, no doubt, but you play this game long enough, you just get used to that. That's just par for the course. Alright, great run on Stenhouse. So we'll have position on him as we head into turn 3. Ouch. A little bump by him. Alright, so there were a few cars that were spread out. You can see immediately in front of us, they are racing extremely hard. Now we are definitely tight on entry. That has a lot to do with the front springs we're using. So that we could definitely help that out. We could also do some things, you know, track bar, and then whatever we did with the rear springs as far as adding more split to them would also help out with that. So there's a lot of things we could do to help out with the very tight on entry that we're going through right now. But this really helps to shave some speed out of the car whenever you can't get into the corner as hard as you want. All right, so we got what, 5 cars, it looks like, immediately in front of us, and so we're going to have to be careful here because they are running very tight. Looks like racing very hard. They're pretty much in lockstep, so it almost looks like we're at Daytona or Talladega the way these guys are drafting each other right now. Alright, I don't particularly want to be on the outside of 3 and 4, but I'm going to give it a shot at least one time, and we'll see what happens. Alright, use a little brake, try to get it slowed down a little bit more than usual. Yikes, there you can see on through the tri over there, they don't give us a whole lot of room. Not that there's a whole lot to give anyway. Alright, we're just going to try to work our way by these guys one at a time while taking it as easy as I can through turns 3 and 4. A little bit of brake on entry. And you can see they're faster than us through 3 and 4, but that all changes once we get down toward 1 and 2. Oh, watch out. That is so close. Alright, here we go. Let's see if we can get good position on the 31. Oh, he popped us a little bit going into the corner. Oh, he got us again through the tri-oval. Yikes. It is very easy to get irritated with the AI at this track. Very easy. Alright, let's see if we can't just go ahead and get by this guy and move on with our business and let him move on with his. Alright, there we go. That should take care of that. That puts us up into 13th. And we got a little bit of open track in front of us now. That's always nice. Looks like we're coming up on Kyle Larson, I believe. But a lot of empty space right now. 32 laps to go, so we've got plenty of time left. Love this high side in 1 and 2. Particularly with a tight race car. Just let the car flow a little bit better through there. Not a bad line through 3 and 4 as well. Boy, look at that train of cars up ahead of us. Wow. I mean, they're basically glued together, I think. Alright, so that was, instead of Larson, that was actually Blaney in front of us. So we'll see if we can make short work of him, and then alright, give him a little break on corner entry. Let's see if we can get to his outside, or maybe actually inside, down the back straightaway. Yeah, we're going to have the inside available. Alright, slide up in front of him and be on our way. Alright, so he's going to fight back a little bit. Let's see what happens when we get down to turn 1. Alright, he's going to fight back once again. Very nice. So he's got a little speed there. now looks like we've got him behind us and are starting to pull away from him. We can set our sights on these guys in front of us. So with 28 laps to go, first things first, we'll try to run them down, and then if we can run them down, we'll see what we can do about passing these guys. But right now, this looks like a very daunting task. Alright, somehow we lost a lot of speed right there down the straightaway. I'm not even sure what happened. I have no idea what happened there. That was very odd. It was almost like the wheel cut out for the pedals, and it was no longer registering. So that was weird. No wonder Blaney got a great run on us. You can see our top speed was nowhere near where it needed to be. But everything seems to be working okay now. Alright, so we'll try to work our way back by him again. Let's hope that doesn't happen anymore, because that would be really bad if we were in the middle of that pack with cars all around us. Okay, so again, as normal, we could use the leaderboard to see how close we're getting and how fast we're closing in on these guys, but I prefer, for our purposes, just to do it with eyeball and visually see if we're catching these guys and by how much. Alright, so we're just past halfway, so we've got plenty of time, plenty of laps left. We're sitting right now in 12th, and yeah, every time I glance ahead at these guys in front of us, I'm starting to wonder if I want to try to pass all those guys with the way they're racing. With the AI, as long as you can catch them, you know, one or two at a time, you're usually okay. They'll usually race you pretty clean and give you some room. But you get many more than that. You know, you catch 4, 5, 6 or more at a time, and it could be trouble. And I got a feeling this is going to be trouble if we can catch these guys. That's got to be the leader at the front of that pack. I mean, I haven't counted the cars, but my goodness, it can't be many more than that, or many fewer than that. Alright, and we're catching them slowly but surely. I'm enjoying the free space, the nice area that I've got here on the track, all to my own, where I can just let the car roam around a little bit more and not have to worry about holding to a certain groove through the corners. Alright, so we're about to catch the very end of this train. Looks like Martin Truex Jr. is at the front of that train. You can see he's moving around, going high and low, trying to figure out a way by. So it looks like these guys are all sticking right to the bottom on the straightaway, which is going to make it a little bit hairy. Yep, there they are, running all in formation at the very bottom of the track, which is ridiculous to say the least. All right, so here we are. We've caught them. Now we got to figure out what we're going to do with them. Because like I said, I'm not particularly interested in running the high side around this many cars. But it looks like we're going to have no choice but to at least try it. All right, the 78 is giving us the bottom for now.
Still there, he's outside. Outside's clear.
Wow, these guys are really slowing down going into turn 3.
Hold your line.
Whew. All right, so here we go.
Still a car out there.
This almost feels like checkers or wreckers at this point.
Clear, clear.
So I do not have a good feeling about this. All right, so now we're running 2x2, and I really don't like it.
Inside, still there.
This is where you start to feel like there is no win. Because I get up in here right behind the 24, and yeah, I mean, we're faster, we're definitely making good time, but there's nowhere to go either. All right, I didn't realize that our good buddy, the 96 car, wow, that was close with the 24. Didn't realize he was on the inside there.
Hold your line. All clear.
He is a professional chicane, is basically what that car is in this game. Oh goodness, another long line of cars. Here we go. 3 wide around the lap traffic, and somehow we're up to 3rd. That was nasty. That is simply just no good. More lap traffic ahead. So I believe this will make Larson the leader. So the 24 should be 2nd, and that would make Larson the leader.
Hold your line.
Oh goodness. Here we go. More lap traffic. And if you can hear the engine notes, you could tell I have been off the throttle quite a bit here lately. Alright, if the 23 will give us a little room.
Car out there. Clear.
He did. Thank you very much. Alright, so we got a little bit of clear traffic here for the leaders to race. And we got a good run on the 24.
Hold your line.
Let's see what we can do here. We're going to have a terrible angle into the corner. Let it slide up a little bit. Alright, so I would expect the 24 to stay with us for at least another lap or two. I mean, after all, he was running top 10. There was a huge mix-up in positions because of the lap traffic. All right, but no, he's faded back. So now it looks like it's just between me and Larson. And we have 11 laps to see if we can do anything with him. All right, we got a great run on him here coming off the corner. We'll see how much time we can gain on him. Okay, not bad. He actually ran that corner very nicely. So we gained on him, but not as much. Not as much, particularly as I thought we were going to. All right, looks like we've got some more lap traffic up ahead. I really hope that they don't figure into a pass. I would like to do this without involving the lap traffic, if at all possible. Alright, we're here. Now I just got to figure out where we want to try to pass him. Again, really don't want this to come down to lap traffic. Let's see if we can get to his inside. Nope, not quite enough time before that corner. Alright, let's see. Can I go below him? Is the lap traffic going to get in the middle of all this? There we go. We used it as a I thought he was going to use it as a pick on us, but we were able to slide by
Still a car out there.
before we got there. All right, there's the 72 car again. This is at least, I want to say he's at least 2 laps down now, but I could be wrong. Now Harvick, something happened with Harvick, because we all know Harvick would not be running in 39th position unless there was some sort of wreck, or maybe he had a tire go down, something like that. Yeah, he should be plenty fast. Speed should not be the issue for Harvick. Woo, he is giving us no room. Well, you gotta love that. 39th, probably at least 2 laps down. 6 laps to go, and Harvick doesn't seem to care. And realistically, looking in my mirror, the 42 car is a good ways back, so if we're not able to pass Harvick, that's not going to be a big deal, I don't think. You can see Harvick is making it very difficult for me. Alright, let's see, I was very aggressive with the throttle in the center of the corner to see if I could get by him on exit. Looks like it's going to work. Alright, more lap traffic ahead. You can see the 42 car is still back there. We've got a little bit of breathing room on him, but he's definitely still there. But we're running out of laps. Alright, let's see. These guys are going to hang the bottom.
Still a car out there. Clear out low. All clear, all clear.
I get a good deal more nervous racing around the lap traffic than I do around the lead lap cars. Quite a bit more. And in general, I have none of this apprehension racing around the lap cars in other racing games. Alright, 2 more times around, and we should be good to go. So we'll just try to take it easy. Again, the 42 car is nowhere to be seen now. My guess is he's having a lot of trouble with the lap traffic. So we have no pressure to push the envelope around the lap traffic. We'll see what we can do here with David Reagan. Maybe we can pass him, maybe we can't. Alright, final lap. Just cruise through here on the high side. See if we can make the pass on the back straightaway. Alright, and these 2 guys in front of us, I'm not even going to attempt to think about passing them. We'll take it easy, cruise through turns 3 and 4, and we'll bring home the victory. Alright, a lot of tense moments in that race. Wow. That was some crazy racing. Alright, so we ended up winning by a little over, I think it was a little over 2 seconds. And we lapped all the way up to 23rd. Again, that's just, that's hard to believe in that short of a race. Bring home over $1 million. Of course, this would be the Coke 600. So we bring home $1 million for the victory. That puts us up to nearly $14.5 million in our useless bank account. And now that means we have 4 victories and 20 playoff points, which will increase our cushion even more over Kyle Busch, who is second in the playoff standings. All right, there's a guy over to the right back here taking some pictures of I'm not sure what, because he was pointing that thing way up in the air. Maybe he's taking selfies, who knows. We'll go with that. All right, so we had the fastest lap. All right, let's head back to the main menu and put the finishing touches here. Let's see what's going to be next. I believe... Oh, wait. We got a message from Junior. Found out something truly amazing in the Monster Energy Garage yesterday. There isn't a single driver who has a mean word to say about us. Wow. How is that possible? Well, I'm not sure how it's possible, Junior. But we'll take it for now. I'm sure that'll change as time goes on. Okay, we'll move on to the next race, which I believe is Dover. Yes, indeed. All right, so next time we'll come back and we'll race at Dover, which is a 1 mile track that is, it's got an attitude all its own, but it is a ton of fun. I absolutely love the track. Can't wait to get there, but we'll do that next time. For now, thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more of our playthrough of the career mode here in NASCAR Heat 2.